Yo, what's going on everyone? Black Halo here. Today we are talking about the patch 10.1 notes by Shio Shoujo. So let's go ahead and get on into it. So welcome back folks. Hope you all had a wonderful holiday and are ready for more balance and league shenanigans in the big 2-0. Whatever that means. We say hello to the big boss Sett this patch, as well as a huge update to Sylas, League's other resident bad boy. His changes mainly focus on encouraging his role as a mid laner while making sure players don't lose out on the signature bruisery playstyle he's known for. Other than that, we have some quality of life changes for Vi, Kog'Maw, Kassidin, and Jax, as well as some cautious buffs to champions that have proven to be menaces in pro play in the past. And finally, we're following up on our big support item changes during 9.23, tailoring them so that users are encouraged to do more in the early game. Happy New Year! Check this portal if you're looking for TFT patch notes. We are not currently covering TFT patch notes on this channel. So these are the patch highlights. So far the skins, Sett and Mecha Kingdom Sett, I have a video on him if you have not checked it out, showcasing his abilities. I think that he's a decent champion right now with a great auto attack reset, shield, and unique ultimate similar to Vi. Also Freylord Sylas, we got Mecha Kingdom's Jax, Mecha Kingdom's Garen, Mecha Kingdom's Garen Prestige Edition, Mecha Kingdom Garen. Yeah, I don't know why he got a Prestige Edition and nobody else did, but okay. Mecha Kingdom's Leona and Mecha Kingdom's Draven. So yeah, these the Freylord Sylas will be available on January 10th, 2020, and Sett and Mecha Kingdom Sett will be available on January 14th, 2020. So I think that's the release date for a Sett. Mecha Kingdom's Garen Prestige Edition, Draven, Garen, Leona, and Jax will be available on January 15th, 2020. Rank season start. So the Rank 2020 season begins on January 10th at 4 a.m. No time zone here. Most likely PST or EST. Prepare yourself for another year of competition, salt, joyous victories, and soul-crushing losses. They know what's in store. Yeah, we're gonna try and avoid this. Also, the champion Sett the boss. If you don't already know, actually, let me show you the teaser for this champion. So if you give me a second here, I can show you. Right, I can show you this calling card. You may have gotten this. The boss calls. You got his attention. You will be seeing him soon. This was a spoiler for Sett. So yeah, he will reign his supreme. High-res versions of Sett Splash are available on League displays. So what they mean by that is that they have information, wallpapers, and whatnot, all noted in this link right here. So yeah, this is cool. It's really cool. Let's keep on going with the champion changes. So Aphelios, base movement speed and health decreased. Infernum R AoE damage decreased on secondary targets. So Infernum should be Aphelios' best ultimate option when 3 to 5 enemies are standing on top of each other. But best doesn't have to mean one-shotting a whole team. We believe we can trim some damage and still retain its portion as the best against stacked enemies. So we're doing just that. So they have lowered Aphelios' base movement speed by 5 and his base HP health points by 30. And his ultimate Moonlight Vigils Infernum Empower AoE damage has gone 25% down on secondary targets. So a nerf for Aphelios. Aurelion Sol passive stars base damage decreased. So Aurelion Sol's wave control and enemy burst potential in the early lane is a bit too high right now. while we're quelling some of that damage in the early game, we still want to let him reach those high peaks later. So his passive center of the universe's base star damage, the stars that surround Aurelion that goes around in circles, that rotate, revolve around him basically. I'm trying to think of a different word to say, but yeah, it's down early, but later it's the same. So Azir's ultimate base damage and wall duration decreased. So with Conquer nerfed and the fact that he's had low presence in pro play last year, we are being cautiously optimistic and giving Azir some buffs. So they have upped the base damage on his ultimate, and his wall duration is increased by 2 seconds for a total of 5 seconds. So yeah, this is actually a very significant buff on his ultimate, I believe, for the damage, because if you look at it, it's almost 100 extra damage being added on to rank 2. 25 and then the 75, and then you see right here it's another 25 damage. So Corki, our damage increased later, giving Corki some power in a place that won't greatly increase his early game wave clear, but will overall strengthen his niche as an ability based marksman. Being cautious and optimistic with these buffs like Azir based on his low presence in pro play. I think this buff is well deserved for Corki. I am a Corki player. If you don't know, I really like this champion. I just think that he is sort of weak, and I think this buff is well deserved. So his R missile barrage, I think that pretty much it's not a lot of damage on paper, because as you can see, it's the same at rank 1, it's only 10 more damage at rank 2, and it's another 20 at rank 3. So yeah, it's worth playing the champion again to just give it a shot, because why not? Jax now works with Guinsoo's Rageblade, so his ultimate Grandmaster's Might now gains effects from Guinsoo's Rageblade. So it's also worth playing Jax right now. I actually got a comment not too long ago asking if I like Jax jungle. Yes, I still do. I just don't play it because I like Kha'Zix a lot right now. I've been playing a lot of Kha'Zix. So on to the next champion, Jayce. His cannon Q base damage increased later. Jayce is not in a good spot all across the board. With Kleptomancy gone, he's definitely seen better days. I cannot agree more with that. I miss Klepto, man. But he could use some help elsewhere. Actually, let's not make this video completely gender specific. I really do miss Klepto, everyone. I really do. So, fortunately, the lethality buffs from the end of last year is helping a bit already, but we are also giving him some of his more electrifying power and accentuating the bursts he's known for. Okay, so word of the day, accentuating. But anyways, enough with the jokes. I think that Jayce deserved this buff as well. I also think that the lethality changes and buffs were great. Q Shock Blast base damage increased slightly, only by 5 at rank 2. We see that it's 10 at rank 3, 205, 15 rank 4. Actually, this is an ability with 6 different ranks. So yeah, the only champion I know that's like this is Udyr. I don't play Jayce much. I do have a Jayce skin. I got gifted the Jayce skin. Thank you to whoever did that. But yeah, you can see the numbers here. Base damage increased. Simple buff. Kalista base health and armor growth increased. Kalista is still pretty weak, and she has been pretty weak for the last 3 years. Kalista is still pretty weak after the buff in patch 9.22. Link will be in the top right hand of the video in a card. If you hit the eye and around where my cursor is hovering, you'll see that I have covered this patch. So this time we're buffing her survivability in the mid to late game in order to help her get damage out in skirmishes and team fights. Actually, I think I covered this patch. I'm not too sure if I did, but I might have. I think so. So being cautious and optimistic with these buffs like Azir based on low presence and low play. So her health growth increased by, wow, 11. I don't see this often. And her armor growth is increased by 0.5. So yeah, I'm excited to see that Kalista is getting some love. I've been wanting to play this champion, honestly. Moving on. Kassidin, movement speed decreased. Our mana penalty duration now displays on icon. Kassidin is doing a little too well, a bit of an understatement. Kassidin is doing do a strike through too well in mid-tier levels of play. We're nerfing his roaming and escape potential to target the players that go unpunished in lane and have the ability to be all over the place. So they've done some back-to-back Kassidin nerfs. Let's go. So movement speed decreased by 5. Riftwalk debuff display. Kassidin's mana debuff duration now displays on the R's border. So that's actually a quality of life change for Kassidin as well. So we see Kog'Maw's R mana penalty duration now displays on icon. So similar to what is going on with Kassidin. Actually, they just copy and pasted the same thing onto Kog'Maw. I love doing that to save time. So our living artillery debuff display. Kog'Maw's mana debuff duration now displays on R's border. Now I'm not too sure if only the player or the enemy champion will be able to see this, or the same team. I'm not sure right now. We'll have to check it out in game. So Mordekaiser's passive duration decreased. Movement speed now flat. For a Juggernaut, Mordekaiser is too hard to get away from and kite. That, coupled with his synergy with Aurelion, makes it difficult to escape him. So his passive Darkness Rise has been nerfed by 1 second, from 5 seconds to 4 seconds for the duration of that. And his movement speed is now 3% flat at levels 1 through 18 instead of increasing movement speed. So I like that nerf on Mordekaiser. I think that this was a very strong champion right now. Very strong champion. For a Juggernaut, he's, like they said, he's too hard to get away from and kite. So Nami, her E now also empowers the target's abilities. So let's go ahead and read on. Most enchanters are almost entirely designed to support their marksman. I agree. If you agree with this, hit the like button or subscribe to the channel. Why not, right? So yeah, I think that most enchanters are almost entirely designed to support their marksman, and Nami's no exception. So if you agree with this, you can always pitch your comments in the comments below. I would appreciate it. There's no negativity down there. It makes me think I'm making good content, but we see the opportunity to broaden her utility a bit so that she can benefit both basic attacking marksman and ability based champions. So her E, Tidecaller's Blessing, the blessing has been changed from empowers the target's next 3 basic attacks to empowers the target's next 3 basic attacks and abilities. So this may be big for Nami. AoE spells empowered by Tidecaller's Blessing deals 33 to 66% less damage to non-champions. So pretty much what this means is that not only auto attacks are going to be empowered, but also abilities. Look out for that. Sejuani's patch note changes. Let's read these. Base health growth increased. Frost armor resistances ratio increased. E base damage increased later. So I actually have a tier list. Let's bring this up. Icing on the Cake by Chase More Please. This is my tier list. So currently looking very good in the view department. I think that I might just move Sejuani up. So I call her a weak jungle pick at the moment, and I was right. Riot agrees with this. Base, yeah, I already read this. I already read this. So let's read it again. Base health growth increased. Frost armor resistances ratio increased. E base damage increased later. So it's like, that's a lot. 3 things right there. We're happy with Sejuani's identity as a scaling tank, so we're doubling down on it and buffing her scaling capabilities while leaving her early game vulnerabilities intact. So I literally have her on the bottom of my tier list for a reason, simply because I just think she's weak right now. So we got a health growth increase on her base stats from 95 to 100, increased by 5 health growth. Her passive, Fury of the North, Frost armor has been changed. There's a strike through here. Yeah, let's just read what's not strike through. 10 plus 0.5 bonus armor, and they said bonus armor a second time, and 10 plus 0.5 bonus magic resistance. Okay, so E permafrost base damage has been increased as well. So honestly, on paper, looks like some relatively weak nerfs. I mean, excuse me, I misspoke. Relatively weak buffs on paper, just from looking at this. But you know, it might not be as underwhelming as it looks. I wanted to see something better for Sejuani. So Shyvana now is getting a buff. She's also on the bottom of my tier list, so I'm gonna be moving her up as well, or I might be. So Shyvana gains resistances when slaying Elder Dragon. Fury gains increase in lieu of ultimate CDR, also known as cooldown reduction, when slaying Cloud Drakes. E mark target damage ratio monster damage cap increased. So Shyvana is basically going to be getting more buffs from killing dragons. So for a dragon killing dragon girl, Shyvana's been losing out on some of the new Rise of the Elements dragon interactions. We're fixing that and also giving her some small buffs to her sustained damage. So her passive, Fury of the Dragonborn, Dragon Slayer. Shyvana now gains 5 permanent bonus armor and magic resistance for every elemental drake and elder dragon her team slays. So that's actually pretty big. So if you get every single dragon, so let's count like 4 dragons, you already get 20 bonus armor and magic resistance. And she's a relatively squishy champion, so that's gonna help her out a lot. And also Raging Winds on her passive, Fury of the Dragonborn. Cloud Drake now increases Shyvana's Fury gains by 10, 20, 30, and 40% because her ultimate does not have a cooldown. So these ranks, not too sure where they're coming from. However, she just has, I think from every single Cloud Dragon, I'm not sure, but just know that she can get increased Fury. So her ultimate is going to be up a lot more now if you get to 40% CDR with with the Cloud Drake being slain. So I'm liking these buffs. Synergy with the dragons. E Flame Breath, mark target damage ratio increased by 0.50% of a target's maximum health, and the mark monster damage cap is 150 instead of 100. Okay, so Shyvana, some pretty nice buffs. I think definitely worth checking this out and seeing if it's a big difference. But is it very exciting? Yeah, I think so, because of the Raging Winds. Having your ulti up more and getting your enhanced E, as well as the fact that you get extra bonus armor magic resist, it's gonna make the enemy team harder to kill you. You do more damage with your E as well. I'm liking it. So yeah, Sylas, less base stats early, more later. Passive now gives attack speed. W cooldown decreased. E AP ratio increased. W E1 and R basic attack reset removed. wow, they actually are taking away, they're actually gutting Sylas because they took a basic attack reset removed. Like I mentioned earlier, Sett does have auto attack reset, so those are very important for a champion. So Sylas has been difficult to stabilize for all brackets of players and has an extremely long record of changes since his release. Due to that, we promised that we'd do some bigger work on him outside of number tweaks that would help bring the gap between all levels of Sylas players closer. So I couldn't help but think of challenger or master tier Sylas players with this our basic attack reset removal, because they can definitely take advantage of this more than a lower ranked player. So first, we're changing his early lane to be more in line with someone like Echo and Fizz, champions that have less control in the early laning phase but stronger with levels. Secondly, we're balancing him as a mid laner, prioritizing changes that encourage him to be used there instead of other lanes or jungle, since they said mid lane priority. So, and finally, by removing his EQ combo and slowing down his basic attack pattern, we're making a good faith effort to retain his auto-weaving bruiser playstyle while also making measures against the speed in which he bursts down his enemies. So yeah, I don't agree with taking auto attack resets away from champions because it shows the mechanical outplay potential from different players. It just differentiates them. So, you know, at least they say it's a good faith effort. We'll be looking closely at him in the coming months to see how these changes have landed. So his base stats are pretty much almost all lowered. Let's keep reading. So his health decreased by a lot. His health was almost 600. Now it's pretty much 525 if you round it down, which you do with this number. So health growth from 95 to 115. So instead of having base health, you have more health growth stats. His armor is down by 5. His armor growth is up by 1. His magic resistance is 39, or it used to be 39, now it's 32. Magic resistance growth 125. It used to be that, now it's 1.75. I said 125, 1.25. Yeah, basically they're doing what they said they would in this description I just read. So his passive Petrificite Burst primary target damage ratio has been buffed just slightly, ever so slightly, with the ability power being increased by 0.05. So the radius of this has been nerfed by 100 range. That's the bad news. So fast change, this is new, now grant Sylas 60% attack speed when available. So that's nice. I see that they took away the auto attack reset and gave him some extra attack speed when this fast change part of his passive of Petrificite Burst is available. So it stacks 3 times, and now it has a minion execute. Now it executes secondary target minions below 25 HP. So yeah, that sounds pretty good. It should be easier to CS with this champion because his passive has a ability that literally makes it easier to CS. So yeah, his Q chain leash, the cooldown on that has been increased by 1 at all ranks. His chain damage has been decreased at every single rank, actually decreased a lot overall, because you can see that it used to be 145 at rank 5 and now it's 100, and the AP ratio is down. So yeah, the detonation damage now is lower. Actually no, it's lower at rank 1. I was gonna say it's lower at rank 5, but it's not. It's actually a lot higher, the detonation damage from your Q. And the AP ratio scaling is up now. So yeah, here are the numbers. The detonation, the minion damage reduction is now 60% instead of 45%. And the detonation slow is removed. So his Q no longer has a slow. And his Q can no longer be cast during his E, abduct. So yeah, less potential to combo your abilities like I was saying. His W, Kingslayer, has his basic attack reset removed. Like I spoke about, casting Kingslayer no longer resets Sylas's basic attack. The damage on this has been actually unchanged. However, the AP ratio, the AP power that you get has been increased. So yeah, the base stats damage has been unchanged, but yeah, you get what I mean. AP ratios are up. And yeah, the cooldown is lowered. Looks like almost 1 second at every rank. Actually, no, it's not that. But yeah, the cooldown is lower basically. And actually, that's pretty cool that it's down by 4 seconds total at rank 5. I think that's nice. So, remove Mercy no longer deals 50% increased damage to targets below 40% health. Excuse me, I misspoke. But yeah, it no longer deals increased damage to targets below 40% health. Like he basically had a mini coup de grace in this W ability here. Increased heal, heals more based on Sylas's health up to 100% more at 40% health. So yeah, instead of this right here is what I just said. It used to be heals for 75% more if Sylas is below 40% health. Now it's heals more based on Sylas's health up to 100% more at 40% health. Okay, and now his mana cost is, wow, it used to be 40 flat every single rank. Now it's actually gonna cost a lot more to use this ability. So actually, yeah, I think these are some hard nerfs. I don't play Sylas much. I played him before. I liked the champion when I did. I like the idea of him as well, and the champion in general is cool, you know, but these are nerfs across the board. So they're just removing things from him, gutting him basically. So his E, abscond/abduct, removed the E1 basic attack reset. Casting abscond no longer resets Sylas's basic attack. E2 damage. So I'm pretty sure that's the second phase of the ability. Hard to remember or recall everything about this champion. I like playing him. It was simple to me. I like the champion, but it's like I'm using it as a past tense because everything is removed that I started to like about him. So yeah, that's personal. Let me know what you think about the Sylas buffs if you play Sylas. E2 damage has been changed, so it's actually dealing more damage, and the AP ratio is up. And the shield, you no longer gain a magic damage shield for 2 seconds, so the shield is straight up removed, and the cooldown on it is not 14 seconds at all ranks. It's 14, 13, 12, 11, and 10 through ranks 1 through 5. So the lockout, 0.2 seconds when moving if abduct hits. That used to be the lockout duration. Now it's 0.05 seconds when moving after abduct. So not much of a window here. So yeah, our hijack basic attack reset. Casting a hijack no longer resets Sylas's basic attack. So pretty much all of his abilities reset his auto attacks. And this one was able to be cast with his E. So yeah, they've taken that away successfully from that champion. Yeah, that's Riot's doing. On to the next champion, Varus. Q cooldown and Blight cooldown refund decreased. Varus's role as a poke marksman has been quite weak since his last set of major changes in 2018. So 2 years ago, for an ability-based marksman, that playstyle should be one of, if not his strongest. So we're specifically focusing on strengthening it. There we go, I got it right, the pronunciation. So yeah, his cooldown is down on his Q, and the blight cooldown refund is now 3 seconds instead of 4 seconds. Vi, her R, now unstoppable for its whole duration. So this is the quality of life change we read at the beginning of the patch notes, giving Vi a quality of life change to her ultimate, making it work more consistently against knockups and knockbacks, and letting her stick to her target throughout the ability's duration. I like that. Also, Vi is not a bad champion. She's not. R, Assault, and Battery, they decided to call this new quality of life change Denzel Washington for whatever reason, and probably a very funny meme-worthy change that I'm missing here. But Vi remains unstoppable for the duration of her uppercut. So just the whole duration. You know Vi. I play Vi. I've taught people how to play Vi. You can easily see what this means. But if you don't, just because I love this champion a lot, I'll give you a little bit more. You just get a longer ulti duration, and you're unstoppable for the whole duration of your ulti. So yeah, that's what that means. Zyra, her empowered E slow decreased. So Zyra is an underrated support pick at the moment due to the fact that she has utility, she has a lot of damage, a lot of CC. So yeah, Zyra never had a reason to spawn multiple bind lashers, since having one was the same as having two. But now that we've made the lashes slow stackable, Zyra can plan her actions around the plants and actually think about which one she wants. So her E grasping roots vine lasher slow is now 25% instead of 35%. I mean 25% instead of 30% not stacking. And now this stacks up to 2 times, but only once per plant. So yeah. Support items, we're following up on our big support item changes during 9.23, tailoring them so that their users are encouraged to do more in the early game in exchange for some combat stats. Tanky champions will be slightly more resilient, and ability casting champions will have more mana for abilities. So this is new for all of these support item changes. They have base health regen for the Relic Shield, Targon's Buckler, and Bulwark of the Mountain. So 25% base health regen. This one has 50% base health regeneration for Targon's Buckler, and Bulwark of the Mountain base health regen 100%. What? 100%. And they actually changed this ability power from 40 to 25. So yeah, I gotta say, man, supports got it easier than they ever had it. Steel shoulder guards, new base health regen 25%. Rune Steel Spalders, new health base regen 50%. Pauldrons of White Rock, base health regen 100%. Attack damage down from 24 to 15. So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff to pick from. Spectral Sickle, mana regen, new 25%. Harrowing Crescent, new mana regen 50%. Black Mist Scythe, mana regen 100%. Attack damage nerf by 10 from 35 to 25. Health nerf 150 to 100. And Spell Thief's Edge, mana regen 25%. Frostfang has 50% mana regen. And Shard of True Ice, the new mana regen is now 100%. Health from nerf from 150 to 100. And ability power 60 to 45. So 15 less ability power here on Shard of True Ice. Alright, so Conqueror now shows the total healing in its tooltip. I've covered Conqueror in a lot of my Kha'Zix guides. If you want to check that out, videos on my channel, about 6 of them at the moment. Actually, yeah, about 6 of them and counting. Healing display, like I've already read, just in more detail, now shows the total healing gained in the tooltip, including when hovering over the rune on the scoreboard. So the prototype Ominous Stone cooldown decreased. Ominous Stone continues to significantly underperform. Worded properly by Riot here. So we're giving it a buff so it has enough power to compete with the other choices. So the cooldown used to be 7 to 3 seconds for melee champions and 11 to 7 seconds for ranged champions. Now it is 5 to 3 seconds for melee champions and 9 to 7 seconds for ranged champions. So yeah, try it out, man. Next patch, try out prototype Ominous Stone on the champion you think it's good on. And let me know if it's good on that champion, because I'm curious. So Bugfixes, Warwick's Q, Jaws of the Beast, no longer depletes mana or goes on cooldown if the target dies during cast. So that's good for Warwick. Ardent Sister's bonus attack damage. I misspoke. Sorry, I'm only human. Ardent Sister's bonus attack speed unique passive no longer activates on a champion that's shielding themselves. So that's specifically nerfing things like Ardent Sensor Udyr and missile type abilities, and that wouldn't normally be in your vision will no longer give you an early warning in Fog of War. So I gotta definitely question it. Will this affect Kai'Sa's W? Will this affect Kha'Zix's Empowered W, or Evolved W I meant to say? We'll have to find out. I think it will though. Like, it's specifically saying missile type abilities that wouldn't normally be in your vision will no longer give you an early warning in the Fog of War. So this is a bug that's fixed. So upcoming skins and chromas, we've already talked about these. And yeah, you can see the full splash art resolution in this link in the patch notes. I've covered the skins here already. And yeah, the chromas here are going to be released on this patch. Freylord Sylas, Mecha Kingdom's Jax, Mecha Kingdom's Draven, Mecha Kingdom's Sett, and Mecha Kingdom's Leona. So yeah, pretty cool colors. I like these colors, especially this one. These colors look really nice on Leona, as well as Draven. These are somewhat underwhelming, I meant to say. They're not, the colors don't pop like these two do. These don't really pop. These definitely pop. But yeah, let's read the first comment like we always do. No bug fixes for the client. We've been reading this for like the past 2 patches of people complaining about the bug fixes on the client, that they need some. It's funny. Oh my god, they're always gonna find something to talk about. But I mean, the client, it's easier said than done to fix this. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you've watched for this long, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have been watching this far. I'm going to say that I'll announce all of my videos on Twitter, so follow me here if you want updates on my videos when they come out. And it's my birthday today, guys, so yeah, you'd only know that if you were watching this long into the video, or just figured it out some other way, or I don't know. If you know me, I don't know. But yeah, that's it for me. It's been legit. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.